Our new house felt like an escape. Tucked away on the edge of the woods, far from the city's noise, it was old but beautifully preserved. A perfect sanctuary, or so I thought. My partner Alex and I had poured our savings into it, dreaming of quiet evenings and peaceful mornings. The first few weeks were blissful. We spent our days unpacking, decorating, and enjoying the tranquility. It was everything we'd hoped for. Then the little things started. A kitchen drawer I was certain I'd closed would be slightly ajar the next morning. Lights I'd flipped off would be on when I walked back into a room. My first thought was always Alex, but he was just as confused as I was. We joked about ghosts, but it never felt malicious, just unsettling. Like the house had a mind of its own, an absent-minded presence wandering its halls. We'd laugh it off, blame our tired brains, or chalk it up to old house quirks. The turning point was the keys. I'd walked into the kitchen, placed my car keys squarely on the counter, and then stepped into the living room to grab my phone. From there, I could see the kitchen clearly, and I watched, frozen in disbelief, as my keys slowly, impossibly, slid off the counter, hitting the wooden floor with a soft thud. My heart hammered against my ribs. I rushed back in, picked them up, my hands trembling, and placed them back exactly where they'd been. I stood there, staring for a full minute. Nothing. I decided I was just overtired seeing things. 5 minutes later, I found those same keys not on the counter, not on the floor, but perfectly placed in the middle of the kitchen sink. That's when the laughter stopped. That night, I started hearing it. A faint, almost imperceptible sound, not voices, not footsteps. More like the house itself was breathing. A soft, rhythmic exhalation from the walls. A subtle intake of air from the empty hallways. It was like living inside a giant lung, constantly expanding and contracting around me. Alex didn't hear it. He thought I was imagining things, stressed by the move. But I knew, the house wasn't just old, it was alive. And it was listening. I became hyper-aware. Every creak, every shift in the old timbers felt like a deliberate act. I started setting small traps. A book balanced precariously on a shelf, a coin placed on its edge. In the mornings, without fail, something would be subtly changed. The book would have fallen, the coin would be flat, but there was never any sign of forced entry. No broken windows, no disturbed locks. It wasn't an intruder, it was the house. The fear escalated when I found the fingerprint. A single, fresh print pressed perfectly into the thin layer of dust on my nightstand. Alex was away on a business trip and I was utterly alone. I knew it wasn't mine and it definitely wasn't Alex's. My blood ran cold. The house wasn't just listening, it was observing. It was interacting, it knew my habits. It knew when I was asleep. It knew I was alone. I tried to talk to Alex about leaving, but he thought I was losing my mind, attributing it to stress and the isolation. He suggested a vacation, not moving out. But I couldn't escape the feeling that the house knew I was trying to leave. The subtle shifts became more pronounced. Doors would slam shut when I was near them, never when I was far away. Pictures would tilt on the wall as I passed. It was like the house was getting angry, asserting its presence. It didn't want me to go. The climax came one night when I decided to test it. I sat in the living room whispering my deepest, most irrational fears out loud, fears I'd never told anyone. I spoke of childhood nightmares, of anxieties about work, of unspoken doubts about my life. I was testing the listener. And then, from the walls around me, I heard it clearly. A low, guttural hum that slowly resolved into a series of faint, echoing whispers. They weren't words I could understand, but the tone, it was a chilling, knowing laughter. It knew my fears, it was mocking them. And in that moment, I knew. The house wasn't just listening. It was feeding on something. My fear, my secrets. I left that night. I packed a bag in a frenzy, ignoring the doors that seemed to swing open and shut on their own, ignoring the faint, desperate whispers that now seemed to follow me. I left Alex a note telling him I needed time, that I couldn't stay there. He eventually joined me, though he still struggles to understand. We never sold the house. It's still there, standing dark and silent on the edge of the woods. Sometimes when the wind blows just right or the silence stretches too long, I wonder if it's still breathing, still listening, still waiting for someone else to move in, to give it new fears to feast on. I know it knows I'm thinking of it. And sometimes, late at night, I swear I can hear a faint whisper carried on the wind, calling my name, telling me to come home. If you're gripped by real-life mysteries and shocking confessions, hit that subscribe button. Join the Story Shock family for more shocking stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat.